Welcome back, everyone, to another Captain Patriot video. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I'm taking a look at the new 23andMe news article that just came out detailing how the company had a massive data breach that affected 6.9 million people. And if you're not familiar with what 23andMe is, I guess it's a service. You swab your cheek with a DNA kit, you send it into them, and then they send back information about your lineage, your ethnicity, any markers that stand out, things like that. So they basically do genetic testing, but it's publicly available to you, and you send in your DNA, they test it, and lo and behold, they also leak it out to the world for people who want your DNA, I guess, people who want the data corresponding to your DNA. So 23andMe breach victims. So they had a security breach, and the victims of said breach are going to be receiving a payout. The total payout is $30 million. Okay, so I want to put this into perspective for you. As an individual, if you were part of this, if you're one of these people who decided it would be a good idea to send in your personal DNA, your DNA sample to a company who doesn't give a shit about you, if you're one of these people who thinks it's a good idea, what actually ends up happening is when your data gets leaked, which it will, especially when it comes to your biological data, obviously that's going to be highly sought after. Duh, you should think about that. The cost of it, the actual cost, comes out to about, at most, $100. At most. So that's what you make, right? If you have your DNA basically leaked. Oh man, it's terrible. So a little bit of a backstory about this entire situation for those who might not know. In October 2023, 23andMe announced a data breach in which hackers had stolen users' personal records and genetic information. But it wasn't until December that year that the company revealed the extent of the damage. Around 14,000 users had their information stolen, but hackers leveraged 23andMe's relative finder tool to access even more users, amounting to the 6.9 million people who were affected by this data breach. Let this be just one more example of the many that you will probably ignore of things not to do. Don't send your personal biological DNA data to a company thinking that it's going to be, deleted after it's used. It will not be deleted. Your data is more valuable to them than you are. As an actual individual, you as an individual person have less value to that company than your data. So the actual information about you is more valuable than you are. The class action lawsuit filed in San Francisco also alleged that 23andMe failed to properly notify users with Chinese and Jewish heritage who were reportedly singled out for their information on the dark web. So 23andMe is paying up, but that doesn't mean victims of the breach will get an even distribution of the $30 million. According to the court document, only $5 million is allocated towards compensating the users. So this is incredible, okay? Breaking this down further, users who filed for an extraordinary claim, meaning they suffered financial fraud, are eligible for a $10,000 payout. Keep in mind, those are individuals, right? So those don't include the entire, that's not part of the $5 million. Others, however, are only entitled to $100. So if you're lucky, right, if you're part of the others, you get $100. The bulk of the settlement will be used to pay for attorney fees. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is incredible. Through the settlement, 23andMe will be required to boost its cybersecurity measures and provide a customized privacy and medical shield plus genetic monitoring to affected users in order to protect them from future fraud and identity theft issues. Yeah, right. Like, we haven't heard this before. Oh, after the assassination attempt, we're going to boost security for Trump. Oh, after the second assassination attempt on Trump, we're going to boost security for Trump. Oh, after the third, after the fourth. It's like, how many times do we as civilians, as people who actually are consumers and spend our money on goods and services, how long or how much will it take for us to realize that nothing actually ever changes? They just say that they're going to we're going to reimburse you for the damages. Oh, we're going to give you $100. Oh, we're going to give you 50 cents. Oh, here you go. Everything's better now. When will we as consumers actually learn that this is all just bullshit? Probably never. It's too late for us. Social media has taken over our brains. So if you were one of the millions of users affected, stay tuned for more information how to get your probably small piece of the settlement. Your probably small piece of the settlement will most likely be around $1 or a couple if you're lucky. If you're lucky. Okay, the vast majority of that money clearly is going towards attorney fees, court fees, all of that. So, this is the result. This is something that I think anyone could have told you was bound to happen. It was only a matter of time. And odds are the hackers were in the system for a while collecting data prior to actually doing the larger hack. So, for anyone who might not know, right, about cybersecurity or cybersecurity details, your data is only as good as the people writing the code to protect it. And oftentimes the people writing the code to protect it are not very good at their jobs. They're an average software engineer, they're an average coder, they're an average project planner or program manager or whatever it might be. So your data, right, if you're putting it into the hands of these people, you should expect eventually that it will be breached. You should expect that. It should not be a surprise. Odds are they're probably even sending it to the government. Oh no. Oh, woe is me. At least I get 74 cents out of it. You guys, come on. Come on, man. Come on. In a Friday court filing, 23andMe called the settlement fair, adequate, and reasonable. Really, 23andMe, right, only having to pay out $30 million, most of which is going to court fees, is calling the settlement fair, adequate, and reasonable. I'm curious, to anyone who might actually have sent in their genetic material to 23andMe, do you consider this a 73 cents reimbursement adequate and fair? Do you think that's reasonable? Do you think it's reasonable for 23andMe to say that to you? To treat you, the consumer, the person spending your money to send in your genetic material for testing, do you think that a 73 cent reimbursement for them leaking your data or allowing your data to be leaked or hacked, do you think that's fair? Do you think that's reasonable? Do you think it's appropriate that a company gets off this easy? Why is a company like this even allowed to exist in the first place? There should be laws in place to prevent companies like this from existing. Unless you're going to an actual doctor's office first and having your genetic material sent into an actual specified lab with the proper security in place to prevent your data from being stolen, I don't see any purpose for having a private company getting their hands on your personal private data, especially your genetic material. Oh, but I'm a crazy conspiracy theorist. Oh, this guy says he's a MAGA supporter. Don't listen to him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. So the breach began around April 2023 and lasted about 5 months. This is exactly what I was saying. Usually when a hack happens, the hack actually happens way before it's ever realized or discovered. 5 months is actually pretty short for a hack. Normally it's a couple years, right? Normally they're in the system for an extended period of time, sitting, watching, waiting, collecting information, collecting data. And so, yeah, the hack, right? The breach was a 5-month breach, affecting nearly half of the 14.1 million customers in 23andMe's database. That's insane. That is crazy. It was disclosed by 23andMe in October of 2023. I can only imagine how much they downplayed it. According to the company, the hacker accessed 5.5 million DNA relatives profiles, which let customers share information with each other, and accessed information for another 1.4 million customers who used a feature called Family Tree. Lawyers for the plaintiffs said the settlement addressed their clients' main claims and reflected significant risks of further litigation given 23andMe their dire finances. Yeah, you're gonna be lucky to get 73 cents. I'll just say that you'll be lucky. Okay, so co-founder and chief executive Ann Wojcicki has been trying to take 23andMe private 3 years after it went public at $10 per share. Its share values have traded below $1 since mid-December. The plaintiff's lawyers may seek legal fees up to 25% of the settlement amount. Let this be a lesson for you guys who might think it's a good idea to send your personal data to any private company. Don't put anything on the internet you don't want people knowing about yourself. And this is exactly why. The internet is not just your computer and what you can Google. Okay, the internet is any database, any storage, any server, any computer, any laptop, all of it. All right, that is the internet. So anything on the internet is accessible. So if you're sending your personal private genetic code, your genetic material to a private company, understand that there's a great risk of it being released, leaked, stolen, sold, whatever it might be. They'll sell it to you in whatever way they think you'll buy it. But the truth is, they are a business profiting off of your genetic material. Why would you not just keep that where it belongs, inside of your body? And sometimes in other people's bodies. Okay, I'm done. All right, that's enough of that. If you guys haven't already, you guys should press that subscribe button down below. It really helps the channel. I'm trying to grow, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Help me out, please, 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 please. But if not, I totally understand. Respect. Like the video. Like the video. Hit the button that says subscribe. Do it now, or die. Just kidding. That's all I've got for you guys today.